Okay, there we go. That should be all set up. Alright, well then, we're back to Pokemon Picker. So, I don't know if this is gonna be the last one or not, but last time I did finish all the gens. We got 7 and 8, and 9 was already done. So, yeah, this is all finished. We've got a just huge chart full of fantasy animals. So, yeah. I think next, though, I want to do this one before I do favorites down here, because this is kind of the miscellaneous categories that I've already started. Already went for favorite evolution. So yeah, let's just get the miscellaneous category, and then we'll go for type favorites. So favorite regional bird. That's actually kind of tough. Hmm. I feel like I want to say Fletchling. It's either Fletchling or Pickpeck, I think. Because both of those were ones like, oh no, I also used you. You're Corviknight. Man, they really started having good birds around X and Y. Admittedly, I do think Starly is kind of cute, but yeah, in terms of Pokemon I've actively used, it's pretty much been Spearow, Skip a bunch, and then I don't know if I'd use you in another playthrough were I to do one, but I do admire Fletchling. Hmm. I think I'm gonna give it to Fletchling. I think Corviknight comes close, because Corviknight's pretty good, as is Rookidee. But I think Fletchling's definitely like the first time I was like, oh heck yeah, bird Pokemon. Fire and Flying was just a very fun one. I kind of like its evolution line. So you're going there. Favorite regional mammal. What's under here? Hmm. I guess Sentrance. Zigzagoon's always weird because you get kind of mixed up with Poochyena between the originals and Emerald. So sometimes Zigzagoon stands out, other times Poochyena stands out given the intro of the game, but I think it has to be Sentrance. Because look, from Sentrance, we get Furret. So, like, kinda has to be Sentrant then. Favorite regional bug? Mm, it's Ladybug. No, it's not Ladybug. I'm gonna say Grubbin. Because again, leads to good things, so... Like that one. Favorite pseudo-legend, which is basically just not technically a legendary type, but also still stupidly powerful. Because, yeah, no, you were the only dragon once upon a time, and that kind of put Dragonite in a very weird position in the meta. Let's see. Hmm. Feel like I kind of want to say Gudra. I feel like these two are kind of like the most iconic. To be fair, so is Hydreigon. Hydreigon also kind of notable for beating you to a pulp. But yeah, I think in terms of pseudo-legendary, didn't realize Gudra was a pseudo-legendary, but I do rather like Gudra as a dragon-type Pokemon. I know what favorite Pikachu clone is. I mean, look, we've got a huge chart full of them. Ah, there's no Pikablue on here. What do you mean? Azurill doesn't count. I can't believe this. But yeah, no, it's obviously Mimikyu. It's just a little ghost friend that wants to be as popular as Pikachu, so it puts on a Pikachu costume. Uh, Also, is it really a Pikachu clone if it's just literally Pikachu but with different outfits? I mean, I guess Pikachu counts for Pikachu clone, so I guess these are relevant then, but yeah, this is gonna be a Mimikyu. Just a very fun design overall. Alright, favorite fossil's tough because, man, so many of these are either positioned badly for usability or just plain really kind of stupid to unlock. Like these guys, hey, what if you had to go do the underground thing to get the fossils in this game? And also, even in Platinum, you can't get both. Whichever one you get depends entirely on your trainer ID. What if we did that to you? And I'm just like, I kind of want to use them, but I don't want to do the underground thing. I'll just put rock type moves on other Pokemon. Also, in fairness, Aerodactyl also pretty powerful. Awkward position in the game, still kind of disgusting. But I've never really used Aerodactyl, and I don't pay much mind to Aerodactyl, so I think it's either gotta be X and Y's, either because I've used this one, or I think this one's pretty, or Sword and Shield, because these are just such... I think it's gonna be one of these guys. I think it's gonna be Arctozolt. Was that one of the ones I chose for Sword and Shield? Let's see. It doesn't look like it. Alright, see, I'm gonna say then, definitely, that's my favorite fossil because conceptually, that's just so fun. Just what if we didn't put the fossils together correctly? Alright, sorry, oh, favorite regional form. Oh, that's a tough one. There's a lot of good ones. Hmm. Well, I've mentioned before, not the biggest fan of Swin Growlithe. Even if I do really, really, really like regular Growlithe. Paldean Wooper is very powerful. I think, though, I do have to give it to Alolan Vulpix. I think out of all these, this is just my favorite design. Also I don't think I emphasized this last time, I just kind of gave all of the legendary birds a blanket what's even going on here, but what did they do to Articuno? What is your deal? Have you become a Phantom Thief? Is that it? I don't know what style you're going for, Articuno. But yeah, Vulpix is already a good Pokemon, but Alolan Vulpix is also very solid. Alright, favorite Gigantamax. Okay, Yeah, last time I kind of had the realization that sometimes Gigantamaxes can be a little over-designed, just like, the Mega Evolutions. Also, that's what you guys look like when powered up, huh? Well, okay then. Alright, I think it's either Eevee or Alchemy. I do appreciate that Alchemy is a very big cake. Also, in fairness, Cinderace was also pretty cool. Honestly, the starters had some pretty good ones. But I do think it's between Alchemy and Eevee. I think I'm gonna give it to Alchemy. I don't know, I just think that's a pretty fun way to go about the Gigantamax, is just, alright, yeah, the cream Pokemon, the Pokemon that's a living dessert, just becomes a real big cake. That's fun. Alright, favorite baby is gonna be difficult because, which one of these do I care about? I really wish Azurill weren't depressed. He's so sad. Well, I mean, Togepi's on there. Togepi's kind of a classic. And I do like that line overall. Tyrogue is interesting. Admittedly, I'm not the biggest fan of here's the baby, and depending on your stats by a certain level, that's the Pokemon you get. I guess you can manipulate that, but that takes so much work. Alright, I guess Riolu's also here. Riolu's okay. But at the same time, I don't know, I feel like in this case, I usually just think of Lucario instead, you know? Like, if I'm thinking of that line, I'm just gonna skip straight ahead. Togepi, I feel like you still think of when you think of that line. And honestly, yeah, while I do like the line, I think in terms of design, Togepi is actually my favorite of those. It's Togepi, then Togekiss, then Togetic? Togetic, I think, is the... One sec. Yeah, Togetic. And then, yeah, Kiss is the final one. Togetic, I feel like, looks kind of awkward, so... Whoop. I don't want anything on that part of the chart. There weren't fairy types just yet. Alright, favorite box legendary, easy. Boom. I mean, look. It's not that I dislike a lot of these, but like I said, I feel like there came a certain point where they started onboarding legendaries into the story better. Which, you know, I could go for you then. Zekrom and Reshiram. Both pretty cool, but no, it's easily Lunala. It's gonna be Nebby. Nebby's great. Who doesn't love Nebby? Alright, favorite mythical, which is kind of like legendary, but not quite. Actually, this is a bunch of really solid ones. Oof. That's actually very tough. Yeah, I like Deoxys. I like Shaman. Teeny's good. Meloetta is good. I think I'm gonna go for Shaman, though. I think if we specifically call them mythical Pokemon, I feel like Shaman would just be the first one to spring to mind, you know? Like, yeah, that's a mythical Pokemon right there. You look at that Pokemon, you think mythical. Favorite Ultra Beast? Oof, this is where it gets tough because, I do conceptually like the idea of these weird, otherworldly mutants. Some of whom look weirdly like characters who appear in the story. I wonder why that is. I guess I'll go with Nihilego. I feel like that's kind of the one that I remember the most. I don't even remember you. What's your deal? Blaze of Fallon, huh? I mean, I guess there is also Guzzlord who screams a lot, but... Yeah, I feel like Nihilego's kind of the first one that springs to mind. I think that's another one that's just kind of an embodiment of the category for me, so... Maybe it's the most obvious choice, but I'm going with it. I'm just going to go for... What if, Lily's hat and the fact that she didn't want to wear it was actually plot important. And we're gonna make this Pokemon an allegory for that control her mother wants to have over her by making a weird alien that wants to control people. Okay, Paradox Pokemon. Right, so yeah, this is a category that I'm not well-versed in. Like, I've seen these guys, but I don't know them in action super well, and yeah, a lot of them look kind of weird. Kind of on purpose. What is going on with Raikou, Legend of Thunder? What happened to your neck? Also, yeah, they've all got weird names. This one's Raging Bolts, Gouging Fire, Walking Wake. Yeah, so in order to make it so it's, not just a different version of those Pokemon. They kind of have these weird names. These weird, indistinct names. Like, aren't you Scream? Yeah, you're Screamtail. I might go for Screamtail, just because it's called Screamtail and it looks like this. Here's this messed up Jigglypuff, just to look into my dark psyche. And yeah, I think I'd go for I think they're ancient Pokemon. I was going to say primordial Pokemon, but I don't think that's right. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for them over the future Pokemon. Because, I don't know, there's just something weird to me about the robot Pokemon, so I guess it's gonna be Screamtail. Because it's just called Screamtail. Alright, favorite new Evo, what's that mean? Okay, so just Pokemon that didn't have those evolutions one game and then did have them in the next. Alright, I mean, it's gonna be Espeon, right? Oh, wait, no. But you already... You already do have favorite Eevee. But at the same time, like... Do you really like Sylveon? And my other knee-jerk choice is just a different Eevee. Hmm. In fairness, Scissor's also pretty good. Unless matched against a fire type, in which case it explodes. Just dies immediately. Alright, there's also Dun Sparse. There should have been Dun Sparse, but whatever, it's fine. But I don't know, I feel like Dunsparce doesn't need any evolutions to be special to me. Alright, I mean, I feel like I do have to be honest and just go with Sylveon. I'm just always very hype about Sylveon. I can't find any other evolution where I'm just like, heck yeah, as much as Sylveon. And again, the only other things are other Eevees. Although, on the other hand, Sylveon is very good, but she's already got a category. She's already got several categories on lock, and in fairness, as annoying as Espeon and Umbreon can be to get because they're friendship-based evolutions, I do feel like they kind of changed the game for Eevee to a certain extent. Because it's not like Vaporeon is bad or anything, but I feel like Game 1, there's so many Eevees, and then there's one good one. Again, Vaporeon's okay, but Jolteon is kind of the number one in everyone's mind, and then for years, Flareon's just kind of not been great. Until they changed how contact moves and, special or physical attacks worked, yeah, Flareon had some weird stats for what it got. Which is a shame because I do actually like Flareon, at least in terms of design. Actually, yeah, I think other than original Eevee, Flareon's probably my favorite Eevee design in that game. Which is a shame because I have rarely used Flareon, other than in Pokemon Crystal Clear, where you got some interesting moves to go along with your Eevees, and I did explicitly do a team of Eevees. That was a fun time. Alright, so now it's time for types. So type favorites. You might think it's one of these two, but it is Wooloo. This is one of those that's an easy choice. It's Wooloo. I like Wooloo. I like the sheep. Obviously, these two are the easy choices. We've got Wooloo, we've got Growlithe. Those were simple. Easy picks. Oof. Wooper or Oshawott? Hmm. Oshawott such a precious little guy, but Wooper's also a precious little guy. God, there's a bunch of good ones on here. I say as though I didn't pick these as my favorites. Like, yeah, of course they're good. They're the ones I said I liked. Of course this would be difficult. Alright, I think I gotta go with Oshawott. Oshawott's just a good boy. I will pet Oshawott's head. They deserve it. Alright, oof. Once again, I was about to say this is a good category, but again, these are the ones I chose as my favorites. Of course, they're good. Like, there's a few where I've been so-so on the choices, but like, yeah, it's gonna be tough, but I think I've gotta say Whimsicott. I wish I've had more opportunities to use Whimsicott. It's been kind of limited so far, but good design. I kind of wish they had a secondary typing, but pure grass, it's fine. And again, good design. I think that's the most important thing. Oh man, is it gonna be another sheep? Surely it's not gonna be another sheep. I mean, Yamper is pretty good. I feel like if I go with Electros, I'm gonna come across as a min-maxer. Which, in fairness, I shouldn't if you've paid attention to any other part of this, but... I mean, I do have to consider gameplay aspects of each Pokemon. I do have to think about how I like to use them in the games. In which case, do I want to go with Vikavolt, actually? Electric Bug was pretty interesting, and Shmup was just a cool concept. I'm trying to use bug Pokemon a little more lately, because I've kind of, ignored them for a bit. I think I'm gonna go with Vikavolt, then. Alright, Ice. I might just go with Alolan Vulpix, honestly. Yeah, why not? Let's see, fighting type. I did like Pangoro. I kind of want to go with Mankey. Because, look, I'm kind of ride or die with Perry. She was very good. Just a very angry ball of fluff. And I mean, Lucario, of course, is a classic. Solid design. Easily recognizable. Fairly popular. But yeah, I think it's gotta be Pangoro. Interesting typings, and again, I just call it Jotaro. It doesn't quite have Jotaro's look down exactly. It's more of a general tough guy, but I'm gonna have a Jotaro panda because it's funny. Um, yeah, it's Nidoqueen. I just like a defensive poison type. I feel like Nidoqueen is kind of just a really solid choice overall. I think last time I played X and Y even had a Nidoqueen in my main team. Mainly because I did absolutely like using Venoshock. Again, I'm just saying, it's really cool when you have a type where it says you probably want to use the status effect, and then you have a move that says, I am stronger when they have the status effect you will have put on them. Here I'm gonna say... Ghost Ground is very interesting, but I think I kind of like Golurk. Big Golem, can't go wrong. Let's see, this is flying. Well, if it's gonna be flying... Oh, Hawluch is a solid choice. I think I am gonna go with Hawlucha. I was tempted to go with maybe Togekiss. Because to be fair, Togekiss is pretty powerful, pretty good. I like them. Dancebird's also quite nice. It's got 4 types in one there, and I do keep paying compliments to Corviknight. But I think it's gotta be Hawlucha. I do. It's just such an interesting design. Definitely a fun one to use. Alright, this is favorite psychic, huh? Oof. This is a tough one. I mean, Espeon's very good. Gardevoir's always good. Rioniclus. I always forget your name, but I do like that design. That one's always struck a chord with me. Let's see. Esper. Just adorable. Just wide-eyed and adorable. There's Nebby, there's Hattern. Espathra is very good. I think I'm gonna go with Gardevoir. Just, a lot of good psychic types. I like all of them, but Gardevoir's classic and also part fairy type, so, like, you know, definitely up my alley for usability. I mean, Scyther and Shedinja probably more useful in battle. But I gotta go with Shuckle. I mean, look at him, he's Shuckle. How could I not? I'd be a fool to not go with Shuckle. Alright, favorite rock. Again, I do kind of want to give it to Geodude, because I do look back fondly on Candy from the Fire Red LP. I'd actually go with Rockruff. I think it's either Rockruff or Aggron. Aggron was pretty fun to use in Omega Ruby. Rockruff is also pretty good. I think I'll go for you, though. Definitely one of my more, one of my favorite defensive Pokemon, for certain. Ghost type. Oof. Oh, well, oh man. See, I wanted to go with Mischievous, but then there's also Aegislash. But then there's also Sinistea. And I think it's gotta be Sinistea. I did go out of my way to get a legit Sinistea, so it only makes sense. Favorite dragon? I mean, you were my favorite pseudo-legendary, so I guess I'll go with Goodra again. Though, in fairness, Time Dragon is very cool. I shouldn't say... or I shouldn't go without giving these two their dues, because they're very good. Want to pay them some compliments. Yeah, I think I'll move on. I think that's what I want to go with. I think here... Am I just gonna give it to another evolution? Honestly, Umbreon's pretty solid. Either Umbreon or Mightyena. You know, I have so many Eevee choices that I think I am gonna go for Mightyena. Like, such a surprisingly interesting start of the game Pokemon. Let's see. Favorite Steel type? I know I haven't technically used her, but, like, come on. Dickerton's very good. Design-wise, looks pretty good in a fight. I'm gonna go for that one. Favorite fairy, yeah. Sorry, Alchemy, and sorry, Fido, but it's gonna be Sylveon. Alright, favorite starter? Yep, boop. Yep, nope. Primarina? Easy. Easy choice. Alright. What was your name again? Okay, you were just a black belt. Alright, I guess in terms of gimmick forms... I mean, we do have black belt here. Out of all of these, I think I did use Mega Charizard X the most, so... Yeah, I'm gonna go for that one. Again, kind of the... Like, they designed this to be cool type designs, but I'm falling for it. Again, it's a very nice color scheme, and I did. It did get me to use a Charizard, which I rarely do otherwise, so I'm gonna say Mega Charizard X, pretty good for that one. This is just favorite legend. I mean, it's in so many categories already, but Nebby's just gonna sweep the awards. And then, look, I hope you don't think this is gonna be anything particularly interesting. It's just gonna be Growlithe. I know, it's obvious, but like, come on. It is my favorite for a reason. And I don't think I'm particularly a Gen 1er type of person, but there was a particularly adorable Growlithe card. I'm gonna be on the Growlithe train forever. Because Growlithe is very cute and very good. Alright, well, it is past 9 o'clock, so we gotta pump the brakes here. Just before we get to the team slot. Click. Oh, then a Pokemon from the grid to copy it. Okay, so it's got to be from the grid, not the favorites grid. Okay, gotcha. Oh, I thought it would only let me choose from the favorites. Oof. All right, well, we'll leave it here because obviously Arcanines would be on my team. But yeah, I guess next Saturday then, I will return to this for the final Ultimate Pokemon Picker stream, where I have to figure out a comprehensive Pokemon team from this. I mean, I guess I could be like a monotype gym leader. I guess I could put the favorite type to the test and be like, all right, where are all the fairy type Pokemon here? I just choose all fairy types. But no, yeah, that'll probably take the full half hour. But yeah, that'll be next Saturday, so look forward to that. Gonna choose my team and sign a contract in blood so that that's always my team, so I better make the right choices, because it's gonna be forever, no takesy backsies. Gotta figure it out next week. Or die, I guess. I don't know why this is so serious. Can't believe we're playing Pokemon Picker Nuzlocke, where you die if you mess up. Who would do such a thing? Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna shut up so I can stop the stream and then I can play Dungeon Gals.